I tell you what, the biggest key to starts is confidence. So it is. I mean, you'll go to a local race and you'll see the guy wearing blue jeans and a t-shirt, and he lines up on the gate, might have only done 3 starts in his life, but he frickin' goes out and rips the whole shot because the guy wants to get the frickin' whole shot. So my biggest key to getting the whole shot is knowing that you're gonna get there first.
Dirt starts, you know, making sure that your runway is nice and hard packed. You got good traction, no big ruts coming out of it. You want to pick a start that on the other side of the gate's nice and smooth, so nothing's going to catch you off guard, no rocks.
Prepping the gate, you want to have it packed really good, and then I always sprinkle a little dirt over it just to make a little bit of spin so it doesn't pop up on you when you pull out.
Yeah, you just want to keep your head over the bars, and I lock my feet, or actually my legs, like in between the foot pegs and the shifter and the brake. That way when I take off, you know, if it wants to throw me back, I have that lock with my legs, and it just keeps me over the front. And you want to stay over the front as long as you can.
You want to be second gear off the gate, up over the front, elbows up, head above the front of the triple clamps, everything up forward to keep the front end down, but back straight to keep traction over the rear end. You need that rear end to accelerate out, but you need to be up front to keep the front end down. Putting weight to the rear wheel, but still keeping the front end down, manipulating the clutch to keep the front end down and keeping the throttle steady. Keeping the throttle steady is really, really important, especially out. You're going to give it more gas than off of a concrete start, but you want to have control. You don't want it wide open because then the thing's just going to pop and over rev too quick. You want to be mid-throttle and really using the clutch to get out and get away.
Get forward on the bike, elbows up. Shoot, with whole shot devices nowadays, you can jack them down so far you can pretty much just drop the clutch almost.
You want to find that sweet spot in the middle. You know, some people sit too far forward, and then when you're so aggressive with the clutch coming out of the gate, if you're too far forward, you can't help but slide.
I'm only using probably about quarter throttle, but when you have the clutch in, it seems so high in the RPMs, and if you're on a really tacky track, I mean, the thing practically, if you dump it too quick, it'll almost loop out on you. So you want to just have a good feel for it.
And then just trying to let the clutch out smooth, not bringing it back because you're trying to wheelie or whatever, just letting it out smooth and never pulling it back.
I start with both feet on the ground in between the peg and the brake and the peg and the shifter. You can go with finger on the brake and kind of release the clutch slow, but I personally just kind of like to dump it.
I prefer 2 legs down just because I feel like I have more balance.
For me, I start on the dirt with only 1 foot down. You know, like I keep my foot with the shifter on the peg. It's like a Euro thing, you know, a lot of European does that. You know, in America, everybody starts 2 feet down. Always look at the pin for the start. You know, not too many people look at the gate itself. You know, like you would see a lot of people looking sideways to find a little hole so you can see the tube, you know, on the bottom.
Yeah, I always try to look at the pin. I never used to, and I tried it this year, and I really like it. So.
No, when I do starts, I like to try to look straight at the gate, and then when I go, I just look straight ahead.
I look the middle. That's me. I look pretty much at the middle gate.
Look at the bar.
That's right.
Another thing is, it's really hard to explain, but hitting the first shift with your feet off the pegs, like coming up and hitting it with your heel, the inside of your boot, coming up and hitting the first shift like that. That's another thing that helps out a lot because as soon as you bring your feet up, a lot of times you'll lose your balance. When I come off the line, I've already got a big overgrip, of course, on my throttle because as soon as you give it full gas, when you drop that clutch out, your elbow is going to want to go down. So you want to get a nice big overgrip so whenever you do have it wide open, your elbow only goes down like far. Because when you come out and say you're in a rut, when your elbows are down like this, you're not moving the bike at all. When you're up like this, you can move the bike side to side and angle it out of ruts, which is a huge thing.
Just the biggest thing is try and stay straight and pay attention, because when there's so many bikes around you, you got to make sure you pay attention to your bike and make sure you're shifting at the right points, which I struggled with that for a long time. Just you get so caught up in everybody else, you can't really hear your bike, so you're just going wide open. So you got to pay attention to your bike and make sure you're shifting at the right points.
You know, just staying down and getting that drive across the gate, that's really big.
Just try to get off the gate first. It's all about jump. All about jump and how far you are over the front of the bike, so your front end's not coming up a lot.
I don't think there's any specific way. I think this main thing is just knowing that when you rev that bike to whatever RPMs it goes to, and when you dump the clutch, you know what it's going to do.
Again, there's so much practice. Do yourself a favor and go practice for sure.